All right, we are live on Facebook. We're the Podguyz Podcast. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin, where's the Sparky? Where'd he go? What the hell happened?
Fucking disappears.
Jesus Christ.
You ran out.
Tony's the kind of guy that starts up the car and says, "Is everybody ready?" And his wife screams, "No, we forgot."
I'm out.
We're going anyways. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Everybody out of the pool.
Here, we'll try that again. Kevin Neary here.
Wait, here, let's start again. We are the Podguyz Podcast on Facebook. I am Tony Kaz, followed by
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the La Treviante, avec moi of the big board. That's right, I went French. Greetings, les Sparky. Today, we are joined by a second week. Yes, a second week.
Back to
on
back.
Our show, Randy Sanders, of course, joining us once again, gamer philanthropist. I love that word. Sexy.
Thanks for
Randy
having
Sanders sounds like a baseball name. You know that? I like it. It's a good name right there.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's got the and the and.
Yeah, Randy Sanders.
It sounds like
Randy,
you're throwing 85 mile an hour fastball.
Randy Sanders. Yeah, it didn't stray too far away. Yeah, it's got a really good ring to it.
But you throw a good
Appreciate
rager on the weekend.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
How was everybody's holiday? Was it pretty good?
Thanksgiving. You know what the weird thing is? Here we so
go.
Listen, Thanksgiving was a holiday made up by FDR to ease everybody's mind about the internment camps that the natives were forced to be Americanized in. So everybody said, "Hey, well, why are you throwing these Native Americans into these internment camps?" And that's a fact. And he was like, "Because of Thanksgiving," and he read it off a script. So they made up the holiday, and it's like the shittiest made up story possible. Because if you're going to make up a story, make yourself look like, I don't know, not a jerk in year two. Like, what the fuck? Like, what happened in year two? Oh, about that.
I want to give a big shout out, and I usually don't go on a little rant, but you know what? I got my soapbox. Might as well do it, right? Sure. Big shout out to all of the people who work in retail, especially for the holidays. Bless your hearts. You know what? You deserve some sort of like special place for all the Karen hell that people happen to put you through.
I did it for 10 years. I worked in a record store, a pretty busy retail record store for 10 years. And I tell you that holiday music, it does drive people mad. Absolutely, it does.
Ooh, that just started 3 days ago for us at the place that I work at. And holy shit. Like,
tired of it?
On repeat, brother.
It's bad, especially with the Mariah Carey "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
Oh God,
my fiance loves that song, and she has a beautiful voice. So right when I get done, like with my day, we want to talk, and she wants to sing me the song in a loving gesture. Okay, but then I'm just somebody loving. Somebody wake me up from this coma, because this can't be this can only be a self-made nightmare right about now.
Well, it doesn't get much worse than Jingle Dogs and Jingle Cats doing songs, Jingle Bells. It sounds like they're barking it out.
It always reminds me about how all of Chuck Berry's songs are the same song.
You're not wrong.
You could go to like, wait a second, I thought there was more than just one song on this. Skip it around, but it's like fucking the same one. Carol, it's like Carol.
At least he changed the words up.
Barely. Yeah. He changed either a different woman's name.
Yeah.
But very, very little variation. I always loved the video watching it. I watch it almost every year around this time, when him and Keith Richards gets together, and Keith Richards gives him this look after Chuck Berry gives him this what can only be explained as a cocaine-fueled explanation on how to play a 3-chord fucking rhythm. And Keith Richards is giving him this like very sly look, very, downgrade look, like, yeah, I got it. It's not that tough.
Was it the heroin and the cocaine crossover? It was a speedball made in hell.
Yeah. Well, Keith Richards is still alive, and Chuck Berry is he? He's dead. He's right.
Just recently, though.
Oh yeah.
I think just recent. I mean, within the last year or so.
Man,
that guy lived a long time.
You know what? These are the kind of bands, though, that like really complained about the old generation and never wanted to step aside for them. And then here they are fucking sticking around forever, longer than forever, because cigarettes aren't that dangerous, I guess. I'm not sure how the hell they're staying alive. But Tony, what? Oh, Sparks got some. Tony, I saw something in the news I really want to address. I guess Madonna had what her holiday picture was with all of her children there.
Oh my God.
Funny
story, right? Before we get into this, right?
Yeah, sure.
Me and Steph are sitting in bed, right? And we're flipping through the internet, boom, boom, boom. You know, as couples do, they don't like actually talk to each other. They just go through their phones. And she looks over at me and she goes, "Holy shit, did you see the picture of Madonna?" And I'm like, "Oh, did I see the picture of Madonna?" I said, "Yeah, she's the weird one with all the work done that looks like her children, but doesn't look like her children."
Well, now rumors are going around that that's not really Madonna. That is really Roger the alien from American Dad.
That's a possibility.
Now it's just a rumor, but I would totally look into it if I cared enough to. There's
I mean, if anybody cared, it would be.
I know there's another rumor going around that it is actually the picture provided is not Madonna and her family at all. It is just the inner cave walls of Madonna's vagina, and that they are just selling it as an NFT painted. And it's just a conspiracy. You know how these conspiracies.
You know how I can tell it wasn't the inner walls of Madonna's vagina?
Because it wasn't moving like the background of Al Pacino's office in Devil's Advocate.
Oh, no stalactites or stalagmites.
Right. I'm gonna give myself half credit on that one, though.
Yeah. That's
like if we wanted to play Family Feud with how do you know it's not Madonna's vagina, we'd have a good 30 examples up there, and they'd be like, "Okay, number one answer. You want to play?"
All of them horrifying.
How do you know that Bernie Mac was funnier than Steve Harvey? Because he never had to do this.
No.
The fucking Family Feud.
Oh shit.
Yeah, same. I mean, you could say the same about Letterman, but Letterman just looks like he gave up on telling jokes and just started full-time acid. You know, it's just like, he's like, "I'm just going to do acid and grow a beard and forget about all of my life before time." And
I thought he was definitely in some type of beard growing contest, because he was really plugging away at that beard.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I mean, Letterman. Jay Leno, actually, he's coming back from his burnt face scenario. Did you hear about that, Tony?
I heard something about the garage fire and something happening, but
yeah, he's working on one of his own cars, and I guess while it was on, something came loose underneath, and burned. It gave him second-degree burns on his face, and he's recovering. He's almost fully recovered from the hospital. They did a bunch of skin grafts on him and that, but Bill Maher is getting some flack because he made a joke. He said, "Well, even after the burns, I mean, think about it. Jay Leno has never been a really good-looking man."
Low blow.
Yeah, lower blow.
Coming from Bill Maher.
Bill Maher said it with the intent. It's not like it was. It's not like if Conan O'Brien. Now, Conan O'Brien did not make the statement, but if he were to make a statement, he could call him a Two-Face now, like a little Two-Face accident, like the Batman reference, because of the "Hey, I'm gonna retire from the Tonight Show." All right, then do it. Sure.
No, I'm not.
It's gonna happen. First, I'm gonna have the Jay Leno show and really tank the shit out of that. Why? Why are you doing this? Hey, fuck Conan. Hey.
Does Bill Maher get a card to be able to talk about other men's appearance? Or
yeah, you know what? I think he gets. You know what? You're dead right on that, because he has to get a pass because he has a cartoonish face himself.
It's a caricature of something.
He looks like if Data from Star Trek was like really Jewish. You know?
Nailed it, dude. Nailed it. Good one. Well, speaking of Jay Leno, there's a billboard around somewhere on one of my interstate highways that says he's playing John Esquaga's Nugget up in Reno coming soon to a casino near you. So
is he really?
Yeah, it's a new. Now the billboard does have some scarring, but I think they're gonna get rid of most of that. They're gonna work it into the set list.
They're gonna whitewash them a little bit.
Well, that's a bunch of graffiti artists probably came by and said like, fuck this guy, and then he got the burns, and they're like, shit, is that a haunted poster?
Do we take it a step too far? Yeah, we'll come back.
One more reason we know we're living in the Matrix.
Yeah, Sparky, what do you got, brother?
It's really suspicious at this point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Before we skip into too many stories ahead.
Oh, shit.
Madonna's family photo. Turn to the left and close your eyes.
Oh, yeah. You see, and that's the way that they did it. They took the inner. That's got to be a great lens on that camera right there, because normally
the Randy Sanders Kodak.
normally Tony, the heat from her vagina melts normal lenses, so they probably had to take the same like discovery lens that they do for the volcanoes and shit.
Some sort of diamond buffed lens there.
Yeah, you need shielding.
Telephoto, but it's telephoto too, I imagine, to get way in there.
I love the shielding for scorched earth.
Yeah, she put down. She shared her photo, and it's called "What I'm Thankful For." And I'm looking at the photo right now, guys. Not one smile. Okay, nobody wants to be around.
Holy shit! There is no smiling.
Are you seeing this? Like,
yeah.
She's like there in the middle, and that is tough right there.
Yeah, her only daughter that has like this half like.
I mean, and that's even like really,
forced.
Yeah. It's almost like right after the photo, they all got back to arguing over what they're going to do with her money when she dies.
It's kind of true, and not to say she's halfway in the grave, but.
I mean, I'd put her on my death pool next year. We do have a big story going on here, Tony, with the adult star, Jessie Rhodes. She says that she is willing to sleep with a fan to fulfill their fantasies. So imagine that. Imagine that, an adult star having sex with somebody for money.
Man. For money?
Wow.
No, well, she didn't say that she wanted to do him for money, but she wants to sell it for money. So she wants to fulfill somebody's dream by having sex with them on camera. So that she can sell it later.
Yeah. So imagine then an adult film star selling themselves having sex with somebody for money. This doesn't count as news at all.
Such a novel business plan. What has anybody ever done anything like that before?
Yeah, you know what? I actually tried talking to this dude who, I've known him for a little bit. Nice guy. He's an older gentleman. He used to rock the Hitler mustache there, or the Charlie Chaplin. Like he didn't want to get rid of it. He's like, I didn't kill anybody. Just that was Bob's excuse. But I said, the amount of brothels in America went down while violence went up. I wonder if there's a correlation between those numbers. Where men have walked around, they're like, I just can't. I want to just pay for sex and not go to jail for it. Well, instead, I'm forced to murder.
Always the same sad story.
Yeah. And then there's what do we got here? A former Nazi encampment on a tiny channel of island can be yours for $50,000. Did you see that story there, Randy? $50,000. You can get this small island that used to have a concentration camp on it. I know what you're thinking. If you're looking for the owner, watch for him later off in life. He'll be suiciding himself in prison.
Mm-hmm. Initials J.E.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Now, is that just by the structure, or is that the whole island, or where are we on that?
It is off near the Channel of France, and it was German territory at the time. It was just a very small concentration camp that they would keep people in.
Any island for $50,000 is a steal in my book.
It is, yeah. But then you gotta,
it does have history though.
That's like starting bid right there. If you win the bidding, you win the white supremacists fucking award of the year, I guess, right? Because who the fuck would want that?
Throw a big party for him.
Like, honey, remember how we were gonna send one of the kids to college? Yeah, what happened to that money? Oh yeah, so I bought this island that has an old concentration camp on it. Why are you crying?
Who's going to take care of her in her old age?
That's
college.
That's like the most racist midlife crisis you could have.
It's right up there, isn't it?
Anti-Semitic midlife crisis. Just like I just got the itch. I was gonna buy a motorcycle with swastikas on it, but instead
I have a horrible joke that should be inserted in there somewhere. And it actually begins with Papa John's owner, John Schnatter. He was interested in the island for a minute.
So start and end there, that joke?
Yeah, I'm not going any further.
Well, no, I guess didn't Donald Trump have dinner with Kanye West? And then there was a white supremacist somewhere around that dinner. And they're like,
yeah.
There you are. That's what happens.
Guilty by association. Happens every time.
Now there's a lot going on with Kanye.
I would hate to be the server for Donald Trump and Kanye West, because you could say like, hey guys, can I start you out with something to drink? What's that supposed to mean? Is it supposed to mean that I am a thirsty man? I brought my own juice. And he pulls out like whiskey. And you're like, well, sir, that's a bottle of whiskey right there. It's like, it used to be juice. Hey, Kanye, I know this man. He probably voted for Biden. Probably a scumbag. We need a different server, preferably one with big boobs. And you're just like, what the fuck? Fuck both of you. All right. Like the server had to have been going out of their mind, where they have to like duck in there and be like, hey guys, I got the bill right here. And they're both looking. And that both of them are broke because of taxes and lawsuits. So they're both gonna want to fake pay for the check at the same time. Oh, get it? Oh no. They'll play the tug of war and be like, they both don't have money. Like,
well, if they rip it in half, then you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay the bill.
We missed the boat on the island thing.
We can still get on the boat with the island thing. What's going on?
Well, no. With Miley Cyrus turning 30.
Oh yeah. Miley Cyrus did turn 30 years old, which means that I guess pedophiles have had to jerk off to something else for the last 12 years, right?
Doing the math, I'm like 18, 12, 30. Yep.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
that was it. Nailed it.
Yeah. Boom. Stuck the landing on the mat
like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, it's good for her.
Like a wrecking ball. Nice.
She turned 30 years old, but yeah, man, it's good. It's a great thing because people were throwing it out there that she was probably going to be one of those celebrity tragedies because she wore a bikini and dyed her hair and pierced herself like that. And the reason she did all that crap.
Can you believe that there was Las Vegas betting as far as her becoming pregnant by this age already?
I believe
on anything. You can bet on anything in Vegas. So Kevin, circling back to Kanye real quick. Did you hear that his former handler was instructing him to not be crazy, or he would have him committed.
He'd have him committed
if he wouldn't stop being crazy, saying Kanye stuff. Did you hear that one at all? Or
I would assume that's pure fact right there. But if you are an advisor to a star such as Kanye West, if you want to keep your job, okay, you can't say, hey, stop being crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being yourself, or I'm going to commit.
Yeah.
Then I guess maybe if you want to go on like other interviews and you're like, so what makes you think that you can handle David Hasselhoff? He's like, well, sir, I used to work for Kanye West, and I told him, any more of this crazy shit, we're going to institutionalize you.
That's what he said.
What did he say next? He told me I was fired and to get the fuck out of his brain, and then started screaming at random things that weren't there. So, he did bring up the Jews a lot, though. He Yeah, he was never good at drawing X's and O's, so they kind of look like swastikas.
This is a little bit of an older story. Looks like it was broke November 4th, 22. Ye exposes handler who threatens to commit him against his will on YouTube. So, yeah, check that out.
I think it's funny that he actually has a handler, first of all. And then second of all, especially after all of this blowing up that he's had in the recent news, especially for probably about a year now, right? At least 2.
Well, so there was a story I wanted to get to with Eric Monte. Eric Monte claims to have been stolen. Ideas have been stolen from him by Norman Lear, creator of such shows like
Good
the
Times,
Jeffersons,
Three's Company, maybe, or
every black show you can think of from the 70s. Norman Lear took credit for
Different
right?
Strokes.
Different Strokes,
Different Strokes, yeah.
So
I think
Eric Monte claims that all of his
Stanford
ideas,
and Son.
Stanford and Son was a big one too. Yeah. So Eric Monte says that all of his ideas were then stolen by Norman Lear, and he's got proof to back it up with trademarks and stuff like that. So
there's quite a lot of validity to it, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I hear what Kanye West has to say, and it sounds anti-Semitic and stuff, and as much as it can sound, but then when you hear another story about Norman Lear just plain old stealing from Eric Monte, allegedly, okay, it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of backs up what Hollywood's been about for years, just constantly stealing one thing off of the other from somebody else that's more creative and from a poor part of the world. So Adidas basically saying, we're still going to sell your brand. We own it. We paid you money for it. We're gonna take your designs and stuff like that. And Kanye yelling, I was stolen from, somebody stole from me. It doesn't hit you on the same level of gravity because he was literally paid for it. Eric Monte wasn't paid for it. So he could be, if he was screaming, oh my God, the Jewish Hollywood people are stealing from me, then that would make sense. But Kanye screaming that while holding fistfuls of millions of dollars, it's tough to say that you were ripped off. Like you agreed to.
A tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, like you can't pull up in a Ferrari and talk about how the thieving Jewish people stole from you so hard.
And how homelessness is so hard. It's so complicated.
You have teeth made out of gold. And it's because the Jews stole from you, or they be platinum. Well, no one's buying that. No one, it doesn't pass the eye test correctly. And the only people that are going to be delusional and sitting at the same table, eating for Thanksgiving because their families hate them is going to be Kanye West and Donald Trump. They had a perfect Thanksgiving dinner. One got to blame somebody else for all their problems. The other one got to blame another person for their problems. And you, as the waiter, just be like, maybe just fucking shut the fuck up. Here you go.
Well, the funny thing that's happened between this, Kevin, is just that actually Kanye has put in his bid for 2022 for the presidential election again.
I mean, okay, like
for 2024, I should say.
You really should.
And you know what? I wouldn't vote for him, dude. And you know what? I would vote for him if I cared about a family man, because he's had one less wife than the other two.
So a running challenge there.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden's first wife died in a mysterious trucking accident or some kind of vehicle accident.
I think it was,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he moved on a year later to get married to a woman that he randomly fell in love with and didn't know that well, according to reports. It just doesn't pass. That doesn't pass the eye test either. I've said many times, like, wow, Joe Biden killed his first family to get a cooler, newer one, and you wonder where Hunter Biden might have gotten the idea to do a lot of drugs to forget about that idea.
Is that frowned upon in certain circles? It's not.
It's
something.
It's called the DC Take Two. Your first family didn't work. Do a take two, and your
starter. It says starter wives.
Yeah. yeah. We're gonna start you out with this.
Can I get you some apps?
It's like Carvana of wives.
Yeah. Let's swipe right on that.
quick note on the Norman Lear debacle. It appears that All in the Family just very well be his greatest accomplishment.
Yeah,
that may be up for debate, but I'm scrolling through All in the Family, Jefferson's Maude, Good Time, Sanford Son, Facts of Life, Mary Hartman. The list just is unending.
Without Carol,
massive amounts.
Okay, so without Carol O'Connor's accurate portrayal of Archie Bunker and Gene Stapleton not being also being perfectly cast, Gene Stapleton, because normally they like to give an ugly guy a better looking wife, and no one buys it. It's not buying it. So she was an uglier looking woman than he was an ugly man to go along with the idea, right? And then they kind of passed it off like he wasn't that educated to a degree, but he understood what he saw and what was happening throughout his world. So that way it was a true portrayal of the character that he was given. Rob Reiner and Sally Struthers weren't impressive. All they had to do was basically play a opposite contrast of what older beliefs were and idealistic dialogue from certain points of view, and then you just add in an element where it makes the younger crowd kind of look smarter to a degree just by situational comedy. But at the time, you know what it wasn't better than? That show was worse than the Burns and Allen show. Burns and Allen show was probably, I'd put that as a top tier comedy because it lasted longer. That comedy was so good. They were actually able to address the crowd and say, hey, we're actually having a casting change. If that's cool with everybody. And Gracie Allen wrote the whole entire show, which she never got credit for until she died because it was frowned upon to give women credit for anything during those times. But I'll give Norman Lear that, absolutely. Like, you can write All in the Family and it's a layup the way that it was formatted throughout for the time. But if you're looking to write for Sanford and Son and throw your name on all these things at that point in time, I'm just gonna assume there, Randy. I'm gonna assume that this is probably what happened. He probably went up to Montana and he said, listen, this show's not going to get done if they think that a black producer's in on it, okay? Or a black writer. It's not going to get done. They're going to, I would love to do it, but they're not going to do it without my name on it, okay? So I'm not going to steal any of your ideas. In fact, most of them won't work anyway. So why don't you go back to the writer room and see what you can do there? He takes all the ideas, he throws them out there. They say, Norman, these are genius right here. Red Fox to play a junkyard. This is great. How did you think of this? And in his own grandeur, he says, I don't know, I'm that good. And takes the credit anyways. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. People get to the top sometimes in this industry by stepping on everybody else.
On the shit of everybody's necks.
Yeah. And then like Norman Lear actually had a bisexual relationship with what's his face? From Motown Records. Oh God, I forget his name. He was the one that signed Michael Jackson. No. Oh God.
Not Quincy Jones.
Yes, no. Quincy Jones. Yes.
Well, that right out.
They had a bisexual relationship together, as did the Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando have a bisexual relationship together. People were
not only bisexual but interracial too. So you got double.
That does check both. So that is a reason to keep it secret because they had so much. It's not like they had a good.
It sounds
feel.
like the Randy Sanders dating app.
Oh shit.
They had a good feel. They had a good feel.
Brought to you by Monster.
For what was going on. But Randy, what did you think? Did you ever stumble upon the Burns and Allen show?
No, I was just thinking about when you were mentioning it. I'm like, Burns and Allen. No, and then I was thinking, okay, George Burns and Gracie Allen. I hadn't. That must have been running in the 50s and 60s or 60s and early 70s.
Yeah. So so that was like the baseline to kind of go off of. when you were trying to write for a family TV show like
Mhm.
Burns and Allen or Leave It to Beaver, but Leave It to Beaver wasn't doing anything edgy at all. And
No.
Burns and Allen were basically trying to do situational comedy, which then instead George Burns, Gracie Allen, good-looking couple. So they said, all right, we know good-looking couple works, but will bad-looking couple work?
Oh, I see where you're going with that.
Tim and Carol O'Connor.
So it wasn't a sketch. It wasn't a sketch show. It was a sitcom. Or was,
I mean, a sitcom and a sketch show. There's just
wasn't a variety. It wasn't a variety hour or anything quite like that.
Correct.
Like a hee-haw or
I mean, with proper editing, the Burns and Allen show later on at the end basically turned into a very sitcom kind of run. So it evolved into another type of thing.
Okay.
Just like the old Jack Benny show kind of turned into the Johnny Carson show of what that format was, where you'd have to have a person to do a song and dance or something like that, and different sketches along the way, and then a one-on-one interview. Of course, Jack Benny was so terrible with interviews; it was almost like gut wrenching to even just sit in. It was like overhearing your uncle talk to your aunt about masturbating tigers in the great African forests, and you're like, God damn it, shut the fuck up, both of you, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but those forests really are beautiful, and those tigers are majestic. So
yeah, they are.
There's something to be said for that too.
There's something to be said. I always had this conspiracy theory that us trying to save the lions is kind of like racist because they live in Africa and they could probably kill black people faster than anybody, right?
Kept behind bars too. Or,
yeah, like if you killed all the lions off, you're saving African lives. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
African lives matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're saving some guys that are fucking,
Sparky, are you gonna draw the t-shirt on that? No, not. We'll save that for a different podcast.
They're great.
Hey, speaking of African lives matter, right? Talking about some washed up wide receivers. Odell Beckham and Terrell Owens has been in the news lately.
They have, yeah.
And Odell Beckham Jr. was actually booted off a flight after losing consciousness.
While in the air?
Yeah, I guess
in the air? He lost consciousness and was booted in the air.
They told him to get off the plane several times, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said something about he was seriously ill, and they asked him to fasten a seatbelt, and he was kind of unruly with the with the stewardesses, of course. And
no way, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. The flight crew asked Mr. Beckham several times to exit the aircraft, which he refused. And only after the entire airplane was evacuated did the 30-year-old athlete agree to disembark as well. He sounds entitled.
How drunk was he? All the way?
All the way, really intoxicated, slipping in and out of consciousness.
Man doesn't like to fly. Man doesn't like to fly. What can I say?
Man doesn't like to fly at all.
Sober.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy, listen, he made one amazing catch. Okay. Very amazing catch that'll be forever remembered. And his life at that point that's where he peaked. And he's been done ever since. He's never been an elite wide receiver. His numbers reflect not being an elite wide receiver. He's also never finished 100% of a season. Never won a Super Bowl. Never won a playoff series. I don't understand what you're paying for if you're an NFL team and you want this guy. What are you paying for? Deshaun Jackson.
The name. Look at Chad Johnson. Ochocinco.
Dude, he's retired. He knows when to retire.
I know.
Julio Jones,
Mr.
Like, my hamstring's blown out again. Deshaun Jackson is going to give you more production than Odell Beckham Jr. And he's on the Ravens right now, barely doing anything except farting around the bench. Okay. The Cowboys want to get Odell Beckham Jr. just because they feel like he might help Dak Prescott out. They think that if you get Odell Beckham Jr., the Rams did not win a Super Bowl because of Odell Beckham Jr., okay? You have Van Jefferson at the time. You got Cooper Kupp. That's practically all you need. You had Tyler Higbee rolling around, Cam Akers being utilized correctly. I'm not sure what the fuck the team said they were doing this year. They're like, all right, Cam Akers, I saw you were looking at my wife yesterday, so get on the fucking bench. And he's like, dude, what? I don't even know your wife. Well, I might have you mixed up with the other running back. Get over here, Henderson. You were cut. What the fuck? I don't know what Sean McVay's doing, but he just seems like that kind of pissed off gym teacher type of guy, like prick of a jock. I don't know, Randy, do you follow football at all?
Is that where they put that puck in the net, or is that more like when you hit with the ball and the sticks?
I'm gonna guess that's a resounding no. So former NFL, if you are familiar with former NFL star Terrell Owens, knocked out a man outside of CVS in Los Angeles after the guy allegedly harassed people in the store. So Tony, I know what you're thinking, the same way as our viewing and listening audience is thinking. Looks like Logan Paul found his next opponent.
Are we taking bets? Are they taking bets in Vegas already?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it, because this fits Logan Paul's criteria. And
entire MO is just
an older black athlete that has zero experience in the ring. So Terrell Owens is almost 50 years old, zero experience in the ring. And for some odd reason, Logan Paul likes his opponents like that. Washed up.
I want to refer it to the very, very viral video going around right now. Fuck around and find out.
You're going up against Terrell Owens. It's not gonna listen.
Sparky, what does it look like on the big board? Keep going. I'm sorry, Kevin, please.
Oh, he's drawing right now. Yeah. So no, just listen. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's still athletically inclined, and that just shows
he's still beast mode. He's big, like super big.
Dude, all that tells me is that LA is like full of crawling zombie mode of people.
Yeah.
Like you have homeless drug addicts roaming around. They're not drug addicts. They're dehydrated people trying to grab up any kind of money they can find. I mean, Portland, Oregon's crawling with people like that. And I'm not going to say that every single one of them is a victim of circumstance, but it would be pretty coincidental if they were all just born scumbags. Is what I'm saying.
And I mean, we're talking about Inglewood, California, too.
Well, you know how you make money out in California anymore. You get yourself a hammer and find yourself a congresswoman's husband and beat the shit out of him until he cops up his wallet.
That's true.
Either that or you just simply suck his dick like he wanted.
Right there. That was a little
touche,
closer. That was
touche.
a little closer to the facts, I think, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm speculating.
Somewhere in the middle lies
somewhere in the middle. Either there was a birdhouse on his head that was incomplete.
Need some repair work done on the house, the roof of the birdhouse.
Yeah,
I
hired this subcontractor who's got cum inside of his mouth.
How did that happen?
He was living in a bus in Berkeley.
That sounds like a MAGA supporter.
He's
probably part of the January 6th people. That's what happened. He drove his ass all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast because of, if there's anything I know about people on the East Coast that support Donald Trump, first place they want to move is California, right?
Yeah.
To go suck dick.
I'm sure
between that and Florida.
Tucker told him to do it, so he went guns blazing.
That Tucker Carlson is such a piece of shit, man. Listen, he's always carrying that libertarian tone where he wants to feed people breadcrumbs of racism. And I'll give you an example. You and I know what these people look like. Now, I'm not going to tell you what they look like, but close your eyes. And if it's a little bit darker on your eyelids, that's kind of what they look like. Now, I can't say it out loud on Fox News. It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Everyone at their TV screen is like screaming the word that you're trying to lead them to. And then you get everybody to a commercial break that involves you buying shiny gold, selling your house for shiny rocks and shit. Like you're fucking trying to devolve the human race in one fucking in
why did a pawn commercial come up in front of me?
he started his journalism career off by wearing a bow tie. That should have been a red flag number one. Okay. First of all, everybody in a bow tie that's an adult looks like a really smart person that's going to rip you off eventually. And every child with a bow tie on looks like they're going to burn your house down, and they look like old Omen fucking kid.
Problem Child, I think, rocked the.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
rocked
Problem Child did, and then 10 years later, John Ritter dies of a mysterious heart attack.
Go figure.
Absolutely
so.
coincidence. Yeah. Michael Richards was in that movie too. That was Problem Child. Yeah, he was.
He played the serial killer.
Yeah, perfectly cast.
That was great. He wore a bow tie too.
Sparky's big board right there. Sparky, what do you got there?
Okay, what Paul brother wants me? Hey, he is only 10.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
How many Paul brothers are there?
There are two.
There's two. Yeah.
There's Logan, and they're both
Jake.
equally douchey. You know that? Like
Logan and Jake.
Logan and Jake.
I really don't know where they came from. They were video.
It's like the
stars.
Island Boys.
Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. But I don't get these guys. They want to fight and make money. What's not to get?
It sounds good if you're just like, okay, so we've been following these guys for like a flat year now, and I had to make the reference that, you know what, his next, the next move is getting on a Ouija board and fucking talking shit to Muhammad Ali to try to get him to come down and fight, because they're going older and blacker, and they don't even care if they're dead or not, like they're gonna fight for the golden George Foreman grill or whatever, because it's not that they want somebody else's success to make them famous. So they don't care if that person is old, brain damaged, or whatever. They're taking the ethics of athleticism and all that boxing involves and throwing that to the side and saying something like, hey, Mike Tyson, I'll beat the shit out of you, right?
That's the where I was going.
Yeah, so Mike Tyson was one, and everyone was telling me, they're saying, oh my God, Mike Tyson will kill him. Dude, Mike Tyson's over 50 years old. He's 53 years old right now.
Yeah.
He won't beat them up, okay?
Really?
Correct. The last time Mike Tyson fought somebody with the same height of these Paul brothers was 22 years ago against Lennox Lewis, and he got rocked every round. The only time Mike Tyson almost got a little bit of a shot in was round 2. He had a nice little combination, and then Lennox Lewis.
Well, he just went out of retirement last year, and he fought who was it? Somebody.
He fought Roy Jones Jr., another 50-year-old boxer. So yeah, maybe against another 50-year-old who's who's the same height as him. Roy Jones about 5'9", Tyson's about 5'8", maybe give or take an inch on both of them because they're a little bit older now. So yeah, same height, same reach, same age. Sure, he's gonna look okay. Why not, right? But you got somebody else who's 27 years old, who's 6'6" with that reach on him. I mean, listen, I don't like the kid or anything like that.
No, but he doesn't have a jab.
Dude, you don't think you can teach? Have you seen him fight? He's got a jab. All you got to do is keep him the fuck away. That's all you got to do. Play keep away. On an older, slower Mike Tyson, dude. For some odd reason, listen. If you're in that group that thinks that Mike Tyson could beat fucking Jake Paul or Logan Paul, you're also in the same group that thinks that Michael Jordan can come back and play basketball tomorrow and score 30 points a game.
That's me. That's
you're
this
wrong.
guy.
Or you're wrong.
That's me.
I'm not wrong, Kevin.
There's only one athlete that doesn't age because of Scientology and probably a digestive system that only goes through juiced unborn fetuses.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. No, he actually he got all of his soul energy from Denny's waitresses. It was weird. They said, what's your secret? He's like, Oxycontin and Denny's waitresses. And they're like, good one, Tiger, but really a lot of practice, right? Wheaties, maybe. And
Breakfast of Champions right there.
Yeah, Tom Brady is the ageless wonder right now at 5-60.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are looking just as bad as that whole entire division is. So they just got to be better than the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers.
Yeah.
So
I heard there is somebody that was looking for like quite a bit of money now.
What was that?
Mr. Chrisley from Chrisley Realizes Best. It's USA Organization Network program. Land mogul Todd Chrisley. Him and his wife actually just made the news because the reality TV couple was sentenced to prison for $30 million in bank fraud.
Yeah. Now, Randall, are you familiar with the show, Randy, or no?
I have. I've seen. He's like the most effeminate male you've ever seen. In fact, I think he took his whole persona from a Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Dana Carvey. I believe Dana Carvey played the main.
I believe it was. Yeah.
And everyone thought he was gay, but he got all up in arms about it. Dana
Yeah.
Carvey
So Tony and I were talking about this story, and I had the same take as you got right now, man. I said, Tony, how long until this guy starts like like that idea? How long until he finds a companion in jail. And Randy,
jail.
Randy, it's federal prison, right? It's federal prison. So it's not like they're like, hey man, get over here. They're probably like, hey, what did you do to get in here? Fine, I'll do it. Well, what are you talking about? I'll do it. Just don't hurt me.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Nope. Then Spark, you just put
him on. Todd Christie, number 1, Death Pool 2023.
Oh boy.
Like he was probably in the courtroom, like, all right, I'll do it. And then they're like, what? Do what? I'll do the thing.
Are they going to Hillary?
It's just a room. Just the room we're sentencing you in.
He's going away for 12 years.
Jeez. $30 million?
And his wife is going away for 7.
Wow.
They got to combine 19 years in jail.
Oh, yeah. Todd's getting a 12-year sentence. His significant other being informed she should spend the following 7 years in jail. So 19 total. The pair were sentenced recently of taking more than $30 million through a misrepresentation by which they created counterfeit budget reports to radiate the impression that they were more extravagant than they were.
You know what? You can hold listen, you can hold these people accountable as much as possible, and that's perfectly fine, right? So, and I don't have a problem with you if you have a negative opinion on these people, but I have an even more negative opinion on the banks that said, "Oh, these are your numbers? Yep, they're all numbers. Wow, these are large numbers. Well, how much money will you need then? More than those numbers. Well, everything checks out here. These are totally numbers.
I'm in.
Here you are. Here's more briefcases full of money. Have a great day. Here you are. So the banks, how long were they able to do this? They were able to do this over a span of 10 years, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
10 years. So
10 years. That's a long time.
I mean, one side of the aisle is going to say, well, this is white privilege because a black guy asked for that kind of money and chose numbers. They're like, whoa, down here, sir. You are selling drugs. And we know it. So what I'm saying is the banks should also get a type of prison sentence out of this, or whoever the loan officer was during this whole $30 million, because it's almost like they're handing out the money. They didn't do the proper checks and balances. They didn't do the proper audits yearly and quarterly that they would do if the corporation was run through an S corp, which the corporation was not done through an S corp, which it was done through a sole proprietorship, and they had their accountant do that idea, right, Tony?
Yeah.
So their accountant
because their accountant was going to do jail time. He's like, hold on, I can give you everybody.
He did 3 years. Yeah, he's got 3 years still,
thing.
but still as a fiduciary, his license should be defaulted to the original lender, which would be the fucking bank, unless the type of loans that he got were so fucking fishy off from not a federally insured bank. But we're muttering down a territory that I have a little bit of expertise in, but it's not watchable when it comes to a podcast, right? People are just like.
So Tony, are you saying that USA didn't pay them $30 million to be on that show?
Oh no, they definitely got paid some money for that show.
But not the 30 mil, not
30 million. No. And then I think they fluffed their numbers as far as the reality stars that they are. Technically, what would you put on a dollar amount as far as 30 million watchers, let's say, for your show? Would you put $1 per watcher on your show?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what? You should put if I was them, which I'm not, but I would put a product placement guide involved, depending on how many viewers. Maybe I drink Pepsi from now on. Maybe I drink Coke from now on. Something to that degree. Maybe all I do is drink Monsters, such as Randy Sanders sponsor, not available at the moment. But it's just for certain examples. Like, and if you're America and you want to put these people in prison, you think that that's the better route on how to get their money, or how to punish somebody over. These guys are.
I had heard some rumors. That Madonna and them were getting together as far as land development and her vagina. I didn't know.
You know what? If there is some metaverse retail space inside of the NFT of her vagina, then that is a gold mine. That is untapped territory.
They are land moguls. Just
the promised land. It's the promised land, gentlemen.
Listen, I'm not about like throwing people in prison.
Untapped territory.
I'm not about throwing people in prison that are
What'd you call that? Prime land.
Throw the bank in jail first for not doing the goddamn checkups. I want them to get the worst fine, because if they're the stem of the root that led to this tree, then you got to take out the main source before 100%. It's just going to continuously happen over and over and over again. And that might call for more regulation, but banks are so unregulated compared to every other country.
Oh, of course.
Anyone who
Let me answer your question, Tony, before Kevin goes on.
Go ahead,
no, Tony, it's not prime land. It's called scorched earth.
It is scorched earth.
It's the fault zone, I think.
Hey, there's a really funny article about the hyena biologist that had tried to sue Disney about the portrayal of animals in The Lion King. Yes, I said that correctly.
Do you have any more information on that?
It's a hilarious article about how Disney had gone to a let me double check here. I just want to make sure that it's correct.
I didn't even know hyenas could become biologists, honestly. I didn't think there's schooling for that.
Well, true. They were invited to the University of California's field station for behavioral research to meet with hyena biologists. Now, the biologists at the University of California, and the whole point of the trip was for animators working with The Lion King to have the chance to observe hyenas before the film was properly made and released. Now, when the biologists reportedly made the animators promise me that you'll put them and portray them in a positive light. Promise me that in a fucking animated movie.
Did they give him a pinky? Was it a pinky promise?
It was a pinky promise.
Oh, okay. Now, is this the original? Are we talking about the original?
The original Lion King.
Pen and ink, not the CGI remake.
Yeah, definitely CGI. No, it was the original movie.
Hyenas had feelings too, and I think they need to be portrayed not as a scavenging
villainous sidekick,
the beast that tear limb from carcass. But
that's how they roll, man. They roll.
That's a freaking hyena.
They laugh while they're tearing apart a body. That's a fucking strictly born evil looking animal. That is.
Well, I think about the children. That's what I really like to go back to. Is think about the children, the children of the hyenas, and
think about the children with the whole
audience.
Plot. Let's think about the children with the whole plot of The Lion King then,
right? Okay,
let's plot of The Lion King here. He wants to bang his sister Naya, or whatever the hell it is, right? So there you got a little bit of incest, you got betrayal, you got somebody falling from a cliff and all that nice crap. You had a runaway lion on top of the whole thing singing Hakuna Matata. which if you look up what Hakuna Matata actually does mean, nothing. It means nothing. It was literally a made up word from Disney. They just wanted to filler to throw off the whole thing. And so the whole Lion King was basically about revenge on an uncle who was probably the true protagonist in the whole movie, because he was the one that was thrown off to starvation land, and so were the hyenas. The hyenas were helping him out, and they were portrayed in a goddamn great light by seeking revenge, coming out of the darkness into the light, and you know what? The movie.
No, there is a true protagonist that you're not talking about.
Scar, right?
The crazy monkey.
He was a crazy monkey.
He was the one that started it all.
Truthfully, Kevin, the Lion King is actually Disney's version of Hamlet. They Disney Hamlet what they did.
You know what? You're right on that one.
Actually,
yeah,
I believe it.
No, and that's been said before Sparky, but no, you're actually 100% right, because here for a second, everybody thought that Disney did something original and creative, and it's never the fact.
And look how we've come full circle, the circle of life, back to people stealing other people's ideas and rewriting
Absolutely.
them.
I mean, we can go. We're gonna go another full circle real quick. Remember how we were talking about?
I wanted to throw in one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
This actually isn't the first time that the Lion King actually was had faced legal action over the Lion King itself. But nothing ever came of the lawsuit, believe it or not. So a person or a company can't really defame a hyena. So the claim was actually laughed out of court entirely. And the whole concept of the Lion King was actually stolen from a Japanese cartoon called Kimba the White Lion.
Thieves everywhere, thieves abound, thick like thieves. And then he was saying laughing, and I thought he was going right back to the hyena joke.
Yeah,
I know. I was waiting for
I thought it was
a very cheesy pun myself there. But speaking of, we'll bring it full circle. You know how we talked about how pedophiles have had to jerk off to something else for the last 12 years because Miley Cyrus turned 30 years old. Well, we have the Louisiana priest who got busted threesoming, and that's a word now. Threesoming is a word, on a church altar with corset-wearing dominatrix, pleads guilty to felony obscenity. I guess you can get a felony and obscenity. Here, back in 2020, we learned about the Louisiana priest who got caught recording himself having sex with 2 women. I mean, I'm not even mad at that right now. I'm just like, okay. And how old were they? Like,
I was waiting for and.
Yeah, two women. All right.
Inventing adult women.
Yeah. Both of them.
That's
were
fresh.
That's fresh.
Yeah. So did the Pope come down and banish him for not?
Officially, the Pope came in and high-fived.
Yeah. No.
Well, my question is, if that's felony obscenity, what's misdemeanor obscenity? Because there's got to be a line somewhere. I want to know where it is.
More than one. So the incident was deemed demonic. The Archbishop named this demonic, and they had the altar that they had sex on was removed and burned. Okay,
because great prejudice.
I know. Guys, at least it wasn't removed and burned and then sent to another church. Okay.
Yeah, it was only removed and burned.
It was removed and burned, and we never saw of it again. Isn't that weird? How they could do that?
It's an immovable stain, Kevin.
They could have crated it up and put it in the Raiders.
I'm just trying to show Tony. I'm just trying to portray how they should treat the pedophile priest the same way they treat this altar.
I don't know. I heard they invited the ShamWow guy there as well, but
he was unavailable.
When police arrived, they seized sex toys, stage lights, and a cell phone, and a tripod-mounted camera.
A full production company was there. They had catering
there
and
was a
fluffers.
ShamWow, a slap chop, and the Popeel pasta maker.
Craft services was on scene.
They had it catered. They had the porno catered.
Absolutely, they did.
Travis Clark, dressed in a dark suit and white shirt, listened to the 22nd Justice District Judge Alan Creel read the elements of the obscenity statute in the courthouse in Covington. I plead guilty, Your Honor, he said. Clark, 39, received a suspended prison sentence and will serve probation while the criminal matter is concluded. Clark will have to appear in court again on January 20th when a permanent civil injunction will be heard that prohibits him and his co-defendants from ever profiting from the crime. So they are not allowed to, if you're looking for this online, you are not paying for it because they can't profit. You can probably find it
for free.
I'm saying you can find it. They're not allowed to profit from it. So you better not pay for it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Or you'd be part of the crime.
Exactly.
You would be perpetuating it after the fact.
Yeah.
Excommunicado, so to speak.
Clark will also need to serve 3 years of supervised probation. And if he violates this probation, they are going to put him over their knee and tell him he is a bad boy. Sorry, joking. As for all the women, they are also ordered supervised probation. None of them will be able to watch Madonna's Like a Prayer video the same way ever again.
That's true.
Or view her Christmas card.
Yeah.
There's
the stalactites and stalagmites of her vagina.
It's teeth. I think it's like more like teeth that
It's
come
teeth.
like of course in Empire Strikes Back, or is it Star Wars, where they fly out of the asteroid?
I think they used a similar monster. Jedi, was it Return of the Jedi with that? Because they kind of used what is it?
Not the Rancor monster. Oh.
That shitty, not shitty, I guess. That Kevin Bacon movie. What is it? Tremors. They basically used a more cartoony version of Tremors. And then there was like a Tremors in Beetlejuice, that little worm thing in the ground.
Oh yeah.
They've reestablished that underground desert worm thing throughout the past 40 years.
Dune. Well, I guess Dune has got to be one of the biggest ones.
Absolutely, yeah. Dune, and at least Dune knows how to tell a story correctly. I mean,
if you could follow it.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of washed up shitty stories, right? Will Smith is in the news again.
Oh, who'd he slap this time?
Yeah, he completely understands everyone. I'm going to say this into the microphone. Now. He completely understands that if audiences aren't ready to see his new movie amid the the Oscar slap ahead of the release of his new movie Emancipation, he is looking to be emancipated from his previous activities.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow.
He's learned a lot. He really has. Yeah,
he sounds like he has grown. He's still married, by the way.
Is he so what is his role in the movie? Is he playing a slave or a slave master? Because I don't know. Seeing how he slaps another black guy, he might be better as being the slave master in this one.
Not going to touch that one.
I'll touch it all day.
Oh,
this guy's a total scumbag. No one.
I find it hilariously funny that he has to have an intervention with himself in order to tell people, this is okay if you don't happen to see the movie. I'm putting out a movie. It's called Emancipation. But if you don't want to go see it,
I get it. I understand
okay with
why.
that as well.
What a piece of garbage. I mean, the movie might be good. I'm not watching it. And it's not just because of the slap. That has a lot to do with it, but it's not just because of the slap. It's kind of a pretentious role at this moment. No one believes Will Smith could ever be that character ever again. At least I don't. His life is.
He came out with a statement, Kevin.
What is his statement? Sure. Yeah.
Will Smith came out with a statement. I completely understand. If someone is not ready, I would absolutely respect that and allow them their space to not be ready. So he's being very, very PC about it, right?
Very.
My deepest concern is my team. Antoine Fuqua has done what I think is the greatest work of his entire career. the people on this team have done some of the best work of their entire careers. And my deepest hope is that my actions don't penalize my team. At this point, that's what I'm working for. So he's saying, don't go to the movie just because I'm in it, but because the hard work and dedication that everyone else has put in, even though I'm the head co-star or head star of the movie. Don't go to see it just because I'm the head star, but because everyone else shone around me.
Tony, do you want to know who Will Smith really is?
He's a scumbag.
So here's a great example. And Randy, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie. It's called Gemini Man.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where he and his son are superheroes on a crash planet, something like that, or space guys?
No, he plays both roles. What's Arky?
That was After Earth with him and Jaden.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one he plays himself, and then there's a clone of himself. Now it's a pretty good movie, right?
No.
The movie is named Gemini Man.
Man.
Is it a remake?
Yeah.
Is it a remake?
I think there was originally a something that it was based off.
Oh,
of.
it's a Twilight Zone episode. We know that. Okay.
It possibly could have
Call
been.
back from last week.
Possibly.
Yeah. So this is who Will Smith really is. Okay. Now the movie was pretty good. I watched it. It was okay. But after checking out if there was any deleted scenes online, apparently Will Smith wanted and petitioned for both credits for the roles that he played.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Separately.
So not like
so he get paid
name,
double.
Not his name and then the two characters he played, but his name next to each character stacked onto each other.
Yes.
Well, I did a quick little go ahead.
And that in full summary is exactly who Will Smith is. He cares about himself
Only.
Times
all
two.
the time. And that he cares about himself twice in the
Right.
same movie that he stars in. He co-starred with himself and he fought over it. Okay, like
That's who's going to be the top biller.
So it looks like Emancipation is an Apple original film for those that are keeping track of production value on that. And I'm thinking a little bit about when the slap took place against Chris Rock and how far along they were in production on this film. And maybe, just maybe, he was carrying a lot of weight from being in this film and just couldn't it was a method acting type situation that went down at the Oscars.
Ooh, yeah. I think we should give him a pass. I mean, he plays an enslaved man who is taken from his family, manages to escape north, and goes on to join the Union Army to fight the Confederacy in the Civil War in this movie.
Whipped within an inch of his life.
Yeah,
you know what? I'll give him
life.
The only time I'm going to give Will Smith a pass is when you give Chris Rock a ladder, right? And because he's short, and you let him slap you back as hard. Okay?
Rock your fucking world.
Open-handed, okay?
In front of the world. In front
That's
of the
the
world.
only thing. That's in front of the world.
Yeah.
I want everyone to be forced to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
I want there to be another fucking COVID lockdown. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? No, nothing happened here. Chris Rock
Free pay-per-view.
Will Smith in the face.
Yeah.
Like one of those slap-off things, right? Only Will Smith is tied to a fucking chair so he can't even move. They got his goddamn neck all trampled down
the
there.
slap
I
off.
wanted Chris Rock to get like a running start going and
the ladder.
slap him back. A running up start. Yeah.
My God.
That's the only time. And when that exact scenario happens, that's when Will Smith gets to continue to host the Oscars for the rest of the night after that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
After that happens, and then he's got an hour left to host the Emmys or the BET Awards or the fucking Tonys or whatever the hell. Then he gets to host the shitty awards show for the rest of the night. That is fair punishment right there. I'm just saying.
I think you're onto something there.
He needs to host like
pay-per-view,
the BET Music Awards.
Forced pay-per-view. How about that?
Forced pay-per-view. Yeah, everybody is supposed to be inside. They get the little sign language lady there too. And be like,
Who gets the money though? Who gets the pay-per-view money?
Have it sponsored by Gold Bond or talcum powder.
Like the
Brought
old
to you by
makeup.
Jergen.
Listen, man, words are great when you can deliver them like an actor can deliver them, and any line of your movies. Because Will Smith has had some very nice portrayals of plenty of in every movie that he's ever played, and he's had some nice portrayals of characters that he gets great lines to say to everybody, right? But put your face the fuck out there and let your buddy slap you back already, because you took a cheap shot at him, and that's how everyone's gonna look at you, like you're some kind of scumbag for a cheap shot at somebody, and then they still have the self-respect for the entertainment industry, for their contract, for their own nut, to not walk off stage, but just hang in there and do the rest of the show. Until that happens, Will Smith, I hope nobody watches your movie. I hope they deep fake somebody else's face over you in all of your movies, including the Emancipation, because I'm sure it's probably a really good movie. And if he got $0 for it, I'd be all about watching it. But until that exact scenario happens, I don't believe what he says about his apology. There's nothing authentic about what Will Smith is saying. He's paying lip service for money, and that's all he's doing. He's basically acting as a Hollywood puppet at this moment, just to suck off at the teat of Apple TV. You said it was on, right there, Randy?
Yes.
But
Apple
everything got
movie
canceled
production
from him, which is
Apple
great. Well, not
original
to say
film.
great, but he had a multi-million-dollar Netflix deal that got canceled out, especially for what was it, Blight or Flight or something to, I think it was Blight 2, which was on. Is that what it was?
Bright, not
Bright.
Bright 2 with Denzel Washington. I think you're getting your actors confused, but it's all right.
No. It was there was a movie called Bright that was on Netflix with Will Smith, who is actually with orcs and wizards and fairies and in a real world scenario.
Flight did have Denzel Washington in it, and then they had one
Flight
actor.
did, yeah.
They had an actor in there that you'll never need in any movie, John Goodman. You'll never need John Goodman in any movie ever.
He was the fixer. He was great in that movie. You didn't like him come in getting
totally replaceable in everything he's ever done.
Oh, I thought he was good. I thought he was good in Flight.
I could get another fat guy. I could put any fat guy in there to replace him. Like anybody. Just literally name any. Okay, if I put Bill Murray there, Randy, there you go. We got a same scenario. If I put Johnny Depp in a fat suit there, you got the same scenario. You know what the worst part about John Goodman was? And he might have started off as an okay guy, but then he turned into a Hollywood scumbag and stabbed the back of Roseanne after already piling up millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars. She made him all of that money with her show and casting him and giving him his big break. And all he could do to repay her back is, if you've ever seen the TV show The Connors, stab her in the back and twist it with a smile on his face while signing a contract extension with ABC. What a piece of shit. You know, that he doesn't have any acting talent. He has name recognition because of Roseanne and nothing else from that point. There's nothing that he does that is any better than any other fat actor I've seen. That's why they were going to give him the role of the Penguin, but then they're like, wait a second, John Goodman's a scumbag. Fuck that guy. Let's CGI the hell out of Colin Farrell's face and put him in a fat suit along with it. And
I mean, they're throwing fucking David Harbour and everything. They might as well throw him in there.
You know, I get it. You know, people were angry that Roseanne made a joke that somebody looked like Black ISIS or something like that. And now they think that the same person that wrote the episode, DJ Kissed the Black Girl, to show that kids in the southern part of Kentucky could kiss, and there's nothing bad that would happen to either one of the parties. The same person that wrote that episode is now suddenly fucking racist because she wrote the Connors as a pro-Trump family because they're a lower class white family that can be easily fed lies by a sleazy politician, and ABC didn't like that policy. John Goodman can go fuck himself, man. Denzel Washington, great actor. I love it when he takes drugs in movies, you know? Like,
very realistic.
American Gangster. Did he do much drugs in American Gangster?
I mean,
I don't think he did. I don't think he got high on his own supply on that one too much.
There wasn't on camera doing it, but it was assumed that he might have been.
Yeah. That's a great film.
Great. He's a great actor.
He really is.
Man,
all right.
As soon as I see John Goodman in anything, I'm just like, fuck this guy. And I just turn the goddamn TV off. I go to the bathroom and cut myself with a razor blade just to focus on something else because
just so you feel again, just so you can feel something.
Yeah, I thought they got John Goodman.
Kevin taking that razor blade. We need to end it all, unfortunately.
I thought they got John Goodman in the movie King Kong to play the monkey. The fucking and no, they didn't. Apparently, he was playing a human. I'm like, dude, the whole movie's gone to shit now.
Very nice, very nice.
Can we end this show, Kevin, like we're ending your life?
Yeah, end my life. End it now.
How many different beverages you have tonight? Is that 3 I've counted?
Yeah, I got a Pepsi here.
Yeah, I saw the Pepsi.
Cherry Pepsi. It's very warm in my house right now. They got a commercial heater downstairs because it's zoned commercially, but then it's hooked up to the residential thing. So as soon as it goes on, it's either steaming hot or dead cold. So right now we're at steaming hot. So I got the coffee right now to blend in with the steaming hotness.
Really sweaty or icicles.
And I just got done. I got done about an hour and a half ago puking from Domino's. It went. I went down. Yeah. It was a weird puke. I think I got something wrong with me. Who knows?
Tonight's podcast brought to you by Domino's and Pepsi.
Domino's and Monster Energy drinks. Don't have diabetes yet? Give it a try.
There's always time.
Always wanted to complain about the price of insulin, but you don't have diabetes. Domino's and Monster Energy drink present to you the Domino's
Monster Energy drink. What do you call that? Like, do you call it like the trailer park special or?
It's Friday night dinner. That's all. Need a special moniker.
God dang.
Yeah, it's like the you could tell how severe your depression is by how much the Domino's app wants to talk to you. Hey man,
we're gonna give them the $6.99 special. $8.99.
I haven't talked to anybody all day. Oh, I got a notification.
I'm gonna get some greasy garlic bread to throw on top of that.
Domino's just wants my money. I wonder what the cam girls are up to.
OnlyFans, just for you.
Oh, who's that on my
Domino's.com.
Who's that on my Instagram? What's this hyperlink go to?
Sparky, if you were going to send us hate mail, how would you send us hate mail, sir?
You can send us the hate mail to the Podguyz Podcast at gmail.com.
Oh, Kevin, how would you buy merch if you were going to support us in our endeavors as far as the podcast?
You're going to want to go to merchbooth.com, go to podcast section and check out the Podguyz Podcast. You can wear a wonderful shirt the way that myself and Sparky are wearing right now. We're still waiting for Tony to continue his gear like the Colt we are, right?
I'm going to say that some sort of forced uniform. I may have to pony up on one.
I never told anybody, Randy. I was like, here, guys, I'm giving you guys a shirt. Take this for the holidays, give it to your friends and family, tear it up, use it up as a wash rag, something.
Wash rag.
Wash. I think it's
wash
wash.
Rag.
I think there's an R in that wash. Wash that R right out of your hair.
You can wash rag it.
There you go. Cover a small cold child outside with the shit.
Whatever. Whatever.
Terrible suggestions. You're like the fucking original writer for OxyClean, like poison pigeons, weapon in the eyes of children. Wash your car.
Your wash rag. Here at Merch Booth.
Who wrote all this garbage for Phil Mays to say? Tony's like, I think you can do it.
Anyways, go to merchbooth.com for your merchandising needs as far as coming to support the Podguyz Podcast. Big shout out to Randy Sanders. Randy Sanders.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again, guys. It's been a blast.
If you wanted to check out Randy, how would you check out Randy?
You go to Amazon.com, you look up Videoism, Videoizm, and buy yourself some video games or some DVDs or board games, puzzles.
Bric-a-brac.
Absolutely. Bric-a-brac, fun times. I sell online entertainment, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
That's true. And if you personally tell him that you saw him on the Podguyz Podcast, ThePodguyz podcast, he will give you nothing off.
A 1% discount.
Every package comes with a handwritten note. And
we're gonna pimp Randy out. as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you do want a hot date with Randy, Randy is available, and you can catch him on all your favorite dating apps right now.
Absolutely, you can.
How do you spell that again, Randy? Just for audience, VIDEOGISM.
No, VIDEOIZM. Videoism.
All right, I got
so
video I almost typed in video orgasm.
That's going to get you a whole different site.
Yeah, that's
probably
a whole different
just
ballgame.
a lot of entertaining value for your money there as well.
And we got to put the Amazon link on the Podguyz podcast. You know,
that'd be awesome.
That way it's going to be a
course.
lot easier for people to find, and then they can get their holiday shopping done with easier as well for anybody that is in search.
Randy
for
will
what
give
you're
you the
selling.
friends and family discount, but
as
he
you
doesn't
know-
talk to his family. So
Oh fuck!
I'm
You
still
son
trying
of
to
a
find.
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
sorry.
all right.
I went there. Sorry,
That's
Randy.
all right. It's
I still
it's
love
all
you.
funny. If you can't love it, you gotta live it. If you can't live it, you gotta love it. Something levity. Loaves and fishes.
Something in the rope around her neck told me she was done with this.
I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving master of the big board. Blah 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 blah. He says goodbye.
He does.
As he does.
Randall Sanders. Been a
Randy
real
Sanders.
real
Thank
hoot.
you very much for your personal time, sir. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
Guys, we're the Podguyz Podcast. Make sure you share below. Share below. Really easy. You hit the button. Share.
Sharing's caring.
Easy. Share, comment below. We love it. We'll talk to you. Even while the show's going. Robin Shank. Big shout out to her for throwing it in the old comment section.
The old comment section.
I know. Daniel Jackson. Big shout out to him too.
Oh,
Also
Daniel's
in
a
the
cool
comment
guy. You know that
I know.
he's very cool. We got him on the show, Randy. He's a medium. You know,
We don't have enough time for this, Kevin.
he's go ahead and then fucking press the end button. What's wrong with you?
He is a medium. Check him out, Daniel Jackson. Really cool guy. If you want to see his interview, of course, we have it up on Spotify as well, as far as Daniel Jackson. Guys, have a great night. Peace.